Hey everyone, it's Marissa. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and also doing the Grinch palette. Now this Grinch palette is not the one from Kylie Jenner that got released this year. This is actually an older limited edition Grinch palette from PUR, and I'm pretty sure it came out in 2018, so it's a little bit older. I never actually did a review on this palette on my channel, even though I've had it for quite some time now. It's been a couple years, but I still use this palette a lot, even whenever it's not Christmas. Like, I just really love the different neutral colors and just like the overall pigmentation of it. I just think it's really super nice, and it's definitely a very unique palette. So if you're interested to see how I could do this makeup look, or if you're interested to see the different shades and everything and how it works, then just keep on watching. Now I feel like this palette was a very underhyped palette just because, like, I don't know, I don't feel like I really heard about this palette that much. At the time when I bought it, I was actually working at Kohl's, so that's how I was able to find out about it. This was a PUR collaboration with the Grinch, so I don't know how many other people were able to see it social media wise, but I saw it in the store and that's how I was able to grab it. After a while, it was on sale for like $20, so of course I had to get it on top of like my Kohl's discount. I just think it was really super pretty, and I definitely think it's worth the money. Now it does retail for $42. It says it's a $198 value. I don't know how accurate that is, but it does come with like a full-size color changing lipstick and everything. I think that the little graphic designs and everything on here is really cute as well. Now as you can see, the Grinch on here, it's definitely based off of the newer Grinch, not the one with Jim Carrey or anything in it. It's the newer cartoon of the Grinch, which I'm pretty sure this came out in like 2018 when it happened. This is a 12-piece collector's face palette and color changing lip balm set, and it does come with a variety of eyeshadows, 2 pressed glitters, color changing lip balm, and like blushes and highlights. And it does say that it's cruelty free, gluten free, and you're able to recycle the box as well. It doesn't say it's vegan though, so if you are vegan, I don't think that this would be for you just because it doesn't state that it is. But whenever you open it up, like, it's already like really super cute with all the different details and stuff inside. And the actual box looks like this, which I think is really cool because when you open it up, it's like a pop-up storybook, and it comes with a mirror and everything. It's a really good full-size mirror, and this is what it looks like inside. It's like a golden heart because, you know, his heart grew 3 times the size, or however they said in the movie, but it's like really cool how they added in like the little Whoville in the back, and then they also put in broken ornaments with the heart, how it grew even bigger. And then whenever you open it, that's like the biggest heart that there is in the whole box of the palette. Now it comes with the blush, highlight. I think that this highlight definitely looks similar to this eyeshadow, so I've used both and I really like them. It also comes with 2 pressed glitters, and they're kind of on the oily side. I think I mentioned this again during the makeup tutorial, but it's on the oily side, so if you were to use these and if you have this palette, I would recommend like setting this green with like another green eyeshadow, or setting this with a red eyeshadow, just because it kind of moves around throughout the day. It is really pretty though, but just to let you know about that, because it is kind of like a waxy glitter, pressed glitter. So it's not like my favorite, but I still really like using these once in a while for, like, you know, just festive stuff. So, and as you can tell, some of these shades are pretty used, like it's pretty hollow almost. I'm surprised I haven't even hit the pan yet, but a little goes a long way with a lot of these colors, so I really like that as well. And here's like the little color changing lipstick, which I will be swatching later on in the video. But if you're interested to see all the different swatches from the palette, that's going to be in the next clip right here. And then afterwards, I will be taking you to the tutorial. So I'm first swatching that highlight shade, which is Feeling Frosty, in the bigger upper left pan, and then the upper right pan is the blush, which is called Heart of a Who. Then I'm swatching Cave, and then afterwards Maaax, which is kind of like a more warmer tone of that highlight. Then I'm kind of swatching this rusty reddish color, which is in the shade Sly One. And then Leave Now is this really pretty blackish color, but it's like very sparkly, and it actually looks like a navy blue in the pan. Then the green is Who Cares. The yellow is Loathe. And then afterwards, like the sparkly red is Cindy Lou Who, and the pressed glitters is Naughty in red and Mr. Grinch in green. There's a lot of really pretty like glittery ones. There's not too many mattes. I want to say there's about 3 mattes, which is including the blush. So you're really not getting a lot of matte colors here, but I still feel like you can get a really pretty makeup look out of this. And I also forgot to mention that really pretty shimmery brown shade is in the shade Boooring. Everything was able to remove with a makeup remover wipe except for the lipstick because it actually acts as a lip stain. And then here's the makeup tutorial in the next clip. So to create a base for my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fairest. I'm just going to be applying that to my eyelid and blending everything in using my finger. So now I'm going to be opening up the palette, and like how I said, it's just really cute how it looks like a little pop-up storybook, and I just think that's really super creative. Like, you don't normally see that within a palette. And using an Ulta round brush, I'm just going to be creating or putting it on the crease in my eye and just buffing it out first. And the shade that I'm using is a light brown transition shade called Cave. Also going to be flicking it upwards just so I can create a better cut crease afterwards. Now I kind of want to go in with Cindy Lou Who because it's kind of like a reddish pinkish shade, and I just think it's really super pretty. So I'm just going to be kind of blending that in with that transition shade that I just put on here and just blending the two together. But I'm going to keep this towards the inner part of my crease mostly. Just so that way it just creates a little bit more depth, as you can see, compared to the other one. Now the goldish shimmer shades in the palette are really super pretty. Like, I use those all the time. You don't even really need to use like any kind of concealer or anything to just really show the pigment of it, but I kind of want to cut my crease a little bit more. So I am going to be using a little bit of the NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to be putting a little bit of that NYX Glitter Primer on here, and then just kind of lightly putting it on my eye and just really shaping out that cut crease the way I want it to. And then once it starts to get a little bit tacky, that's when I put the eyeshadow on there. And I'll mainly just be applying that eyeshadow with my finger, but I also will be using an e.l.f. Precision brush. And the brush that I'm using to apply the NYX Glitter Primer is the e.l.f. Concealer Brush. And I'm also just doing that upwards wing motion with that as well, and just repeating it on the other side. Then I'm applying the shade Maaax to my eyelid and just using my finger and also that e.l.f. Precision brush. So I'm really liking how this is looking so far. Like, it's pretty glam, but it's not like overly done. So now I'm actually going to be creating like a smoky eyeliner wing with just the eyeshadow, because I really want you guys to see just like all the different choices that you can choose from the palette. These pressed glittery shades are also really nice too. I have used them before. They kind of do flake off throughout the night though. Like, they do seem to be a little bit oily. I'm not going to be using it for this look, but if you are interested in how those were, that's how they are. They do stay on pretty well, but I would recommend setting them with another eyeshadow on top of it. And it does keep the glitter part, but it does kind of wipe off a little easily. So now I'm going to be taking the shade Leave Now, and it's like this dark navy blue sparkly color, but when I put it on myself, maybe it's just because of how light my skin tone is, but it just looks pretty black. So I'm just going to be using the e.l.f. concealer brush and just kind of creating an eyeliner wing with that, and then afterwards I'm just going to clean up any of this part on my eye look and just kind of really sharpen that outer corner of the wing and just buff it out a little bit more using the e.l.f. Precision brush if I want to blend it a little bit better. That's usually my technique, just because I don't really have a steady hand when it comes to keeping this part sharp, so I really like to clean it up using any kind of makeup remover wipe. And then to kind of blend this out, I'm going to be taking the shade Boring and just blending it using that e.l.f. Precision brush, like how I said, in with the darker color. So now using the Clinique makeup remover wipe, that's when I'm really just going to sharpen the outer edges of my eye look. And then on top of that, because it is a little bit light, I am going to just lightly go over it with eyeliner, not the whole entire part of that black eyeshadow, but just towards the very bottom of it, just so you can really see the wing of the eyeliner. And the eyeliner that I'm using is the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner in the shade Jet Black. And And then that, to me, it just stands out a little bit more, which I like. And then I'm just gonna clean it up one more time with that makeup remover wipe. Now, to kind of hydrate my face, I really like how this Ulta Poreless Face Primer works. It feels very velvety on your skin. I haven't used this in a while, but I am going to be putting it on my face today, and I'm just going to be using a little bit of concealer and stuff, just because, like how I said, my face has been super dry, so I haven't been trying to put a lot of like stuff on it when it comes to foundations. Like, as you can see, it gets really red down here because that's where my chin gets. My chin, I don't know why it gets dry the most, and maybe it has to do with, you know, wearing the face mask and stuff. So I've been really trying to avoid putting as much product on those areas as possible. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer and just kind of putting that towards the red spots on my face. And then for extra coverage, I'm going to be using that LA Girl Pro Concealer like how I used previously for my eyes. And I just feel like this really helps brighten it up a lot more. And then I'm going to be blending everything out using my Real Techniques Beauty Complexion Sponge. I'm going to be taking Boooring and Get Out and just kind of lightly mix the two together to fill my brows. I'm going to clean up the edges a little bit with that Real Techniques Beauty Blender Sponge. And I'm not going to set my face just yet. I'm actually going to do bronzer and blush first. Just because of how dry my face is, I feel like if I were to set it first, it's just going to get too powdery for my skin to handle. So I'm just going to be putting on the shade Cave as my bronzer, and it's just really pretty. I also use that as my transition shade for the eye look. And I'm just going to be applying this using, as always, the Ulta Beauty Blush Brush. And I just think that this is such a pretty shade for not only transitioning, but if you're on the fair to light skin side like me, it's also a very pretty bronzer as well. I'm also going to contour my nose a little bit, and I kind of like flatten my brush like a fan brush and just kind of add the contour lines, and I blend it out later after the blush. And then I also put a little bit on my neck as well, just so my face and my neck look even. Then I'm taking for my blush the Heart of Who, and sometimes I even use this as like an eyeshadow shade, and it's really pretty. It's like this light shimmery blush, and to be honest, like, I don't usually like using shimmery blushes, but this is very pretty, and I just really think it helps with my highlight whenever I apply it. Just really adds a little bit more shimmer to it. And I know I am applying it a little bit heavily right now, which I normally do anyways, but it's just because I know when I set my face, it is going to lighten the overall color and the intensity of this. And I am going to be blending everything out again. So to set my face, I'm going to be using the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in the shade Naturally Neutral, and I'm kind of just going to go over lightly on my blush area. I'm just really going to bake my cheekbones kind of like a little bit below the cheekbone, so you can really see where I put like the bronzer and stuff. And also under my eyes and around the bridge of my nose. I am going to be taking the Heart of Who shade again, even though that is for blush. I also do like using it for eyeshadow, like how I said. And I'm just going to be using an e.l.f. Precision brush and using it as my lower lash line eyeshadow, just so it's a little bit more pop of pink. Then for my all over highlight, my brow bone highlight, inner corner highlight, I'm going to be using the shade Feeling Frosty. It's very similar to what I have on my eyelid, which is Maaax. And I'm just going to be applying that. It's a little bit lighter gold, but it is on the warmer side for sure. I'm also going to be applying it using a crease brush from the It Cosmetics by Ulta. I'm going to be wiping the bake off my face, and I'm going to go over another layer of highlight. But before I do that, I'm going to just wet my face by setting it using Morphe setting spray, because then that way whenever I place the shadow or whatever pigment on my cheekbones, it really just pops out even more. So now I'm going to be using the LORAC Pro Lash Pomade in the shade Black. And then to just really separate my lashes even more, I'm going to be using the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes Defining and Lengthening Mascara, and this is also in the shade black, but it's jet black specifically. But if you can only find just like a black shade, honestly, to me, looks the same for mascara. So I'm just going to be applying this Lash pomade first. Now I think we're basically all done with the look. The only thing is lipstick, and I'm just going to be using the one from the palette. I really like this, but the only thing I don't like about it is it's actually very pink. Now obviously it's green in the tube and also on here, but it's really cool. It's like one of those color changing lip glosses where if you put it on like your skin, it turns pink. So like it's really cool how it does that, but for me personally, I feel like it's too pink when I put it on my lips. So what I do is lightly blot it, and it's very moisturizing. Like it's not a matte liquid lipstick, it's just very hydrating, almost like a chapstick. So I'm just gonna, and you can already see like a huge difference. I guess I'm just gonna apply it fully and then blot it. And I just think it's really super cool how it does that, like how it looks green like the Grinch, but then whenever you put it on, it's pink. And I feel like a lot of the Who's and stuff have super pink lips, so it's definitely like a hot pink, bright color that you definitely will not miss. So this is what it looks like when you fully apply it. I'm just gonna blot it a little bit just because it's a little bit too hot pink for me. And when you blot it, it does look pink too. It does stain your lips a little bit too, which I do really like. Like how I said, I usually don't put as much on, so it's a little bit more drastic right now. So I'm going to put a little bit of a matte liquid lipstick on top of it just to kind of calm that color a little bit so it's not as bright. And I'm just going to lightly put that on my lips. And that matte liquid lipstick that I just used is by Ulta Beauty in the shade Nude Pink. And that is basically the completed look. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're interested to see more videos from me in the future, I upload every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and sometimes on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. I hope you guys are all having a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, which is going to be coming up very soon. And I'll just see you guys next time. Bye!